This video will show how to write morphophonemic rules for suffixes. And we have here some English verbs with the suffix, with the past tense suffix ed. There are some suppletive forms. And we'll write a rule that says if a stem ends with e, then delete the e from the suffix, from the ed suffix. Okay? If the stem ends with an e, then delete the e from the suffix. So, if the stem ends with e, delete the e from the suffix. So this will be a morphophonemic rule. It will apply to suffixes. And we need to specify which suffix. This is the past tense suffix. So we'll say the stem doesn't change. We'll specify it with alphabetic characters. We'll say if the stem ends with e, okay, let's say the entire suffix changes. So it's ed, and the new suffix will be d. And when we do that, so now we see that it's named and noticed and used. So we don't have double e's now. Now here, case studied, we want an either. That's actually a spelling rule, an English spelling rule. But we'll use a morphophonemic rule to get the correct spelling. So let's write another morphophonemic rule that says if the stem ends with y, then before the suffix ed, change the y to an I. So we'll write another morphophonemic rule. If a stem ends with y, change the y to I. So this will be a morphophonemic rule that applies to suffixes. It's a past tense suffix. So this time the stem does change. The end of the stem is y, and the new end of the stem is I. This time the suffix doesn't change. We'll specify ed. And by the way, it's always a good idea to put examples down here. I don't put them in the videos just to save time. But you should say something like, that. Give some example illustrating what that rule does. When you write a rule, it's always very clear to you what that rule is intended to do. But when you come back a month or two later, you might look at a rule and wonder, what is the purpose of this rule? So it's a very good idea to put in examples down in the comments. And now we see that we get studied.